What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Bet Sports, another NFL Sunday here. We got a packed slate today, so we are going to jump right into it and start out with these early games coming at you from the NFL. We got best bets, NFL, NHL at the end of the show. Talk a little Keeneland and Aqueduct as well. But let's kick it off with a line that's been really interesting here, Papa Dude. You mentioned you wanted to talk about this one. We've got the Giants visiting the Jaguars. Jags laying 3, even though the Giants are sitting on the board at 5-1. What do you think of this?
Well, I want your opinion because you study this so much more than I do. This looks like a sucker bet to me. That's why I didn't take it. I don't get it. I really don't.
Well, okay. So this is the conundrum with the Giants. If you go player by player, they're probably the second worst or third worst roster in the NFL. We took their over to start the season because of how much I believed in the coaching staff. And if you look at what this coaching staff has done, it's the reason the team's 5-1. They are doing some janky ass shit on both sides of the football to cover up the devoid of talent that they have. And because of that, you're seeing things like, lining up 3 defensive players directly over the center to stop the option against Lamar Jackson. But it's successful. So they're getting the most out of their players. They're running 32 personnel, which is 3 running backs, 2 tight ends. They're running all these funky setups that cause issues for the other side. So if you look at how a team is graded or player-specific grades or power rankings, they're all going to tell you the Giants are terrible. But their in-game success has them sitting at 5-1.
Yes. I get it. So today they're going to just be stupid and they're not going to make those adjustments today? Is that what they're telling us?
I have bet the Giants in 5 of the 6 weeks so far, and it's turned out pretty good for me. I would take the 3 with the Giants again today because Jacksonville's a mess of a team, and Peterson's going to get them coached up. But right now, look, man, the coaching difference in New York versus a lot of other places are massive. I mean, it's not just Dable who's coaching the offensive side of the ball. Wink Martindale, a top 5 defensive coordinator consistently in Baltimore before a train wreck of a year last year, he's pretty good too.
Yeah. If it was a better opponent, I could understand it. I know it's on the road. They're due to lose. I get that. But I think it should be the other way. The Giants -3 is what I think. So, I mean, you don't just go from great coaching one week to shitty the next. I mean, that doesn't. So, the line's funny. It is very funny. And every time I pick one I think's for sure, it comes back to bite me, so I didn't do it. I just decided, you know what? Vegas knows more than I do, so I'm not taking this one.
This is one of those lines, Aaron, that you see, and Vegas is telling you Jacksonville's going to win this game by margin. That's why this is -3, and that's what the quote-unquote sharp players and professional bettors are all. It's like that is why this line is 3 when you have a 2-4 team facing a 5-1 team. It's the question if you want to jump in on, and if you do, which side are you interested in?
This is tough. I think one of the reasons is the Giants have only had one true road game. And I think that's something that they went to London, but, it's a neutral field game. Maybe they think that's going to be a factor. I'm taking the Giants. The last time we saw Jacksonville at home, they lost 13-6 to the Texans. I mean, I just can't see a situation where you're going to lay points with Jacksonville against anybody. I don't think they're any better, really. I mean, they're a little bit better coached. I think that's it. I mean, they got off to a decent start. They have looked bad the last 3 weeks. I can't go with them. I'm going to take the Giants. I'm with both of you guys, though. They're begging you to bet the Giants.
And this line has not changed. It has not moved the entire.
No, we talked about this on Monday. We talked about it on Thursday. It has not moved.
Yeah.
You're starting to see juiced -120, so you get the Giants +3, +100 right now, almost anywhere in Vegas. So you're starting to see it creep up a little bit toward Jacksonville, which is kind of crazy, which means that money is still absolutely pouring in. Let's jump over to the other early game we're going to talk about here. You got Detroit visiting Dallas. You got Dak Prescott coming back. Aaron, your hot take a few weeks ago is Cooper Rush was the better quarterback. You still believe it?
Well, we'll see. I thought he did very well. Everybody jumped off his bandwagon when he lost to an undefeated team at home last week, at their home, I should say, Philadelphia. Look, Prescott's back. It's kind of good timing, right? Because if he comes back and they're 5-1, everybody's really questioning. But since it's a loss, at least there's not a ton of pressure on him in this game. It's a pretty good team to come up against your first game back after you really struggled in week 1 before you got hurt even. The Lions are atrocious defensively. The Cowboys should have a pretty good day. This is a good day for him to come back and get confidence. I really like Dallas in this game. And the thing about it is now, let's say he struggles and it's really poor. They know what they've got behind him, right? So even if you're worried about Dak, hey, they can make a switch and still be able to win this game. I like Dallas. I think they're going to cover today against the Lions.
Not so fast, my friend. Give me the 7. I'll take the 7 with Detroit. These are two. Detroit has a very good offensive line. Dallas's defense dominant when they're able to get to pressure the quarterback off. Not great when he's getting pressured. That offensive line from Detroit, I think, makes the difference. I wouldn't be shocked if this is a backdoor where Dallas wins but doesn't cover, something in the 3 to 4 point range, somewhere around there. I think there's going to be some points in this spot, though. I wish we had a couple more players back. Swift is out still for Detroit as well. It's a key injury for them, but Williams has been pretty good backing him up. Papa, dude, you take anything here in the Detroit-Dallas game?
I didn't, but here's another issue on this quarterback thing. It's called money.
Yeah.
They can't sit Dak Prescott when they're paying him that kind of money, when Cooper Rush is not measurably better than him. So this is a perfect opportunity, as Aaron said, to put him in there. If he sucks against the Lions and they have more, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but anyway, they'll look better if they make the change, if they have to make the change. But they got to put the money guy back in there. They have to.
It's why Zeke is still running the ball for them and not Pollard, who is clearly the better running back at this point.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the afternoon games here. We've got Seattle and the Los Angeles Chargers here. I wanted to talk about this one because this almost was my best bet. I like Seattle here plus the 4.5. We saw the Chargers and that atrocious offensive line play on Monday night, short week of rest, onto their third center, onto their third guard. They are beat up. And Seattle's all of a sudden started to find a pass rush. Seattle all of a sudden believes that they actually can be competitive in these games. Geno Smith's top 5 quarterback, which is crazy to say, both PFF and QBR. At some point, you have to start believing it. I think Seattle is able to score against the Chargers. I'm not sure that they can keep up score for score. I'm sprinkling a little money line, but I like that plus 4.5, which you can get here. I gave it out at plus 6 on Thursday, so hopefully some people got that one as well. I think Seattle's going to be tough in LA here, Aaron, where I used to live there. Let me tell you, there's a ton of Seahawks fans. This game's going to be like 60-40 Seattle fans.
Wow.
Good pick. Good pick. Seattle, money line, field goal win in LA today.
You wouldn't have said that 5 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago.
But it's not 5 weeks ago.
I know.
Seattle,
Yeah.
field goal.
Do you remember this Chargers team against the Chiefs? That defense looked just dominant. And it was like J.C. Jackson was supposed to come back. And like without Bosa, it's a little different. It's just amazing how much we've seen this Chargers defense specifically change in the last 3 to 4 weeks. And now the offensive line problems just piling up for them. Keenan Allen, still not sure if he's going to be back yet. We'll see if he ever plays again. I mean, it's wild how long it's taking for him to come back here. He gets banged up every time he comes in here. Papa, did you take anything in this spot?
I'd take the Seahawks too. I don't know if they're going to win, but I think it's going to be close. I would take them too. You cannot pick the Chargers now. You just can't. They're going to have to start playing better before you can. And if this is a huge game for Seattle, this runs into what, 4-3 in a division that suddenly looks like it's not very good. They could win this thing. Would that not be amazing if they could do that?
It would be pretty amazing. The team is going to tell you that to give you the not so fast, my friend, is going to be San Francisco, who's hosting Kansas City today. Now just a 1-point favorite. This line opened 3, was sitting at 3 all week. The big news, obviously, McCaffrey traded from Carolina. Comes over here. He's going to play today. Bosa is back today. The other Bosa is back today. You got Trent Williams, who'll be back on the offensive line for San Francisco. So they get 2 major additions, both offensive and defensive line here. But in this spot, the last 4 years, when traveling back from East Coast to West Coast, they are 0-4 against the spread. So this is a spot where they've struggled. They've got a hungry Chiefs team coming in here, Papa Dude. Did you look at this one? I mean, I've been back and forth. I like Casey earlier in the week. I kind of like San Francisco now.
I know, with all the players back. The thing with McCaffrey, how much will he be able to contribute just being there 3 or 4 days? You know, how much?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you can get too sophisticated with him. You know, I don't know. Probably the playbooks are similar in the NFL, and probably won't take him very long to learn what he's supposed to do. He's going to give them a shot in the arm if he can stay healthy. This guy played at Stanford. He's a legend out there. I mean, he's got to be on cloud 9, getting traded from that dumpster fire he was at to a team that traditionally wins. And so Well, if he had another week there, I would really be high on the Niners. We don't know what the Chiefs are going to do. That's the thing. We just don't know. When they're back to the wall, they seem to play a little better. I'm leaning Niners in this. I wasn't, but since Williams is back, he makes a huge difference. He's one of the best tackles in football. And Bosa, man, he makes that defense tough. I think they get all over Mahomes today.
It's going to be interesting to see what Shanahan can do with McCaffrey here. Absolutely amazing what he's done with just a stable of mediocre running backs. And now you're getting one of the best, if not the best running back in the league, an elite screen game team, now getting one of the elite screen game running backs. I mean, the fit is exceptional from that perspective. Aaron, what do you think the workload is for McCaffrey today? And do you think he's worth the 2 points that we've seen in the line with the combination of kind of getting the couple players back?
Couple things. Practice, very overrated. Doesn't matter. This is professionals. Very overrated. He'll be fine. I think he'll get 15, 20 carries today, honestly. I really do, because what else are you going to do, right? Like, you're not going to throw the ball. So get McCaffrey going. Chiefs, big. Chiefs are going to win this game double digits, I think. I think this Niners team –
trying to jinx them.
No. Big. Maybe by 20. I think this Niners team still has problems. And I think the McCaffrey trade will give them a shot in the arm, but they have a tough matchup here. I don't think this Niners defense matches up great with the Chiefs. The Chiefs finally are changing running backs. I think that's going to really, really help, guys. You got a turtle back there in Clyde, and now you're going to get the rookie back there. I think it's going to help the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs in this spot. Maybe I'm being, over optimistic by saying big. I think the Chiefs win, though.
Keep an eye on the props for that rookie running back. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but his receiving prop
or something.
Yeah, he's from Rutgers. Actually, he's showed out pretty well. He's been returning kicks for them. Had a nice first game of the season for them. The receiving props, I think, are still set at either half reception or 1.5 reception. So if you want to go and grab the over on that, if he starts and plays, he will most likely catch at least a couple of passes there out of the backfield for the Chiefs, especially if the Niners get a pass rush going or decide to check down there. So interesting game there in the afternoon window. I'm probably going to watch this and then go around in-game betting. Kevin mentioning, hey, we love the in-game segment. Awesome. Glad you went 17-2. That's phenomenal. Kevin, grabbed Clemson when they're down 21-10. I did as well. Plus 3.5 for Clemson there was a great bet, and you were able to get that in-game. So make sure you're checking out the in-game here as well as we go throughout the day. All right, let's jump over to baseball real quick. We got two teams trying to close it out here. We talked about Houston. We talked about the Phillies. Are they both just going to get it done, Papa Dude?
I'm taking both of them today. I really am. I'm solid on Houston. I don't think the Yankees could hit a ball if they had to right now. And this McCullers is a good pitcher. This guy is good. He's a strikeout guy too. Man, they just got shut down last night. So I really like Houston to close it out. That other series is I think the Phillies win. I do. They got Wheeler going. I think they close it out. Man, they look good. They really do. And that place is on fire. I just don't think San Diego can beat them. They do have Darvish pitching, and he's good, but he might give up a runner. Wheeler can shut the Padres down. So I like both of these teams today.
Yeah, Houston plus money. We said it yesterday. I'll take it again today. I'm going to pass on the Phillies game just simply because I don't know what's going to. I would expect the Phillies to win, but I don't love that one at all. Aaron, you playing any baseball today?
I don't think you can bet against the Phillies right now. I just think they're too hot. They're just on such a roll. Last night they get behind, and I'm like, all right, Padres are going to tie this thing up. We're going back to San Diego. And it's like, yeah, they're probably going to end up beating them. Nope, no problem at all. Phillies just outslugged them. Yankees look dead to me. Houston kind of owns them, and I think that's over. So I do like, and listen, the Astros are plus money. So yeah, I think that's a play. We talked about it yesterday. I said, hey, if you're getting the Astros plus money, take them. They won. Do the same thing again today.
Astros or Avs plus money. I'll take them every time right now.
Yep.
You're going to end up making some money if you get both of those teams at plus money at any point. All right, let's head over to the NBA hardcourt here. We got one marquee game tonight, Phoenix against the LA Clippers. I'm not going to touch that thing with a 10-foot pole. The only game I was semi-interested in today, and put a small bet in on this one. I hope we can keep the basketball going hot. With the Minnesota Timberwolves headed to OKC. OKC playing a back-to-back. They were in Denver last night. Timberwolves should be rested here. I think this Timberwolves team could be dominant in the West as well. So I'll take Minnesota. I'll lay the 8.5 in Oklahoma City tonight. Papa, dude, you didn't see any basketball you like tonight, right?
Not really. I would have leaned the other way on this game if not for the back-to-back. And the Thunder played great last night in Denver.
They did.
I just don't see any way they can get back up today. So I think that's pretty solid that Minnesota comes in there and gets them. This is a young Oklahoma City team. They've played pretty well the first two games on the road and just hasn't won. I just don't think they can turn around and play like they did last night. So I like that bet.
Yeah, they're going to be a very high and low team just because of the youth on that one. So you're going to see some very good games and some very bad games out of that Oklahoma City team, which will probably the long run. I mean, there's two tank players this year. You're going to have two players at the top of the NBA draft, which could be generational talents. You're going to see a lot of teams pack it up early. It might be a little too early to start, but you already had the commissioner came out, yesterday, I believe it was, with a letter saying don't tank, basically, and we're 2 games into the season.
Exactly.
That's how good this draft class is going to be. Aaron, do you see anything on the hard court tonight?
Thunder. Money line, take them. Upset. They're going to beat Minnesota tonight.
Man, we should be betting on this stuff. Unbelievable. All right, let's head over to horse racing here. Before we get into our best bets, we'll start out at Belmont at the Big A here. We've got the Carl Place, the 6th race here, $120,000 turf sprint. Outlaw Kid, the 3-horse, your favorite. Aaron, who'd you go with on top in this spot?
Tough race, very tough race. Hey, we did really well yesterday, Somich, with our horse picks. We get out the exact in almost everyone we covered. So let's try to do that again. I would rather have that happen than lose. All right, well, I'm going to go number 2. That's right, on top in this spot here at Belmont. If you remember this horse, he ran on Pennsylvania Derby Day at Parks, won the Turf Monster, got out to the lead and just held on to win by a length and a half. I kind of see the same kind of thing. Drawn inside of all the speed. It looks like the fastest horse in the race. I know all these turf sprints, they kind of look fast up front, but sometimes that horse is just a little bit faster than the rest early, will get out ahead and go for it and close them out early. I think that's what's going to happen. I like number 2. That's right on top. I hope we get that 9-2 price. I think we should.
I put the favorite Outlaw Kid on top, just to the outside. Third off the layoff here for Weaver. This is a son of violence. Who a very good turf sprinting sire. So I'm excited to see what he can do trying to take a step forward here. Give us a price, Aaron, because we both are taking 9-2, 5-2. Who do you like at a price here? I like 2 horses. Let's see if we can hit them.
Well, I think the 10 makes a lot of sense for me at a price here at 8-1. This horse coming in here for Bill Mott, just as one that just kind of seems to be around. 2 races back, did finally get the maiden broke when cutting back. Last time out, really bad start to the race, got way behind and just couldn't make up a lot of ground against allowance runners at Kentucky Downs. Still made a nice run. And now we're getting back to a normal race. I feel like this is a normal racetrack, I should say. I feel like this is a decently aggressive spot for Bill Mott to throw the 10 in here. So I kind of like the 10 at 8-1.
Yeah, Rosario was having a day at Kentucky Downs that day. No one could close. This horse made a nice move along the rail, was almost able to get up for a piece of the money there. I'm going to go with Legends Can't Die, the 1 horse at a price here. 10-1 on the rail. Horse is cutting back, but showed speed going longer. And if you go back to that race, that one time we did go 5.5 furlongs at Saratoga, got into a little bit of trouble, but faced Evan Singh, who we're going to talk about here in a second as well. That was a $115,000 optional. Last time was the first time against Stakes Company, but faced Witt and 0305 or whatever the heck that horse's name is. 2 pretty good horses. I think cutting back here, especially with Weaver having the favorite and leaving this one in, I think the 1 makes a little sense on the rail there, sitting at 10-1.
I don't hate that pick. I did not use, to be completely honest, but I thought about it because it is a horse that I think is going to save all the ground, like you said, on the rail. And, look, I picked the horse I think can go gate to wire, but there is also, in these turf sprints, it can kind of fall apart at times. And so you want one coming from behind, why I chose the 10 and why you kind of talked about the 1 there.
All right, let's head over to Keeneland here. Go to the 7th race on the card, Grade 3, the Road and Riddle Doe Wager. Interesting name there. Go to 1.5 miles on the turf. Wide open race here in this spot. Your favorite, the 5-horse Temple City Terror. Man, this horse just seems to not want to win. 3-1. Got that great 8 early time form rating, Aaron. Did you go with the 5 on top or you go somewhere else?
I did go with the 5 on top. I will probably not be happy by the end of it, but this is the deal. 1.5 miles, 4 races back in a race very similar to this, got the job done. 1.5 miles, 2 races back, beat Virginia Joy, who came back to win a stakes, and was second to Warlike Goddess, a horse that's going to be like 5-1 at the Breeders' Cup in a couple of weeks. I just think the 5 is the class of this group. I look at this group and it's a lot of horses that I don't really like. I like Temple City Terror today. I get it. A lot of seconds and thirds on that resume, but I think the horse is in a perfect spot. I think is in a spot very similar to that race 4 back at Churchill Downs where she was able to win in a mile and a half. So I went with the boring pick here, number 5, Temple City Terror.
I'll go a little more interesting. I'm going to go to the 1, Castana on top here. Sherry DeVoe, we talk about her all the time. Underrated trainer. I love that Flower Bowl 2 back where she missed 2 Warlake Goddess by length and a half. That race had very little pace. She was able to sit close to the front of it and make a good run. Throughout the last, because of the yielding turf there, I'm going to give her an excuse and hope that we can get that 6-1 price and get something home here on a horse I think is as competitive as anyone else and hopefully on the improve. That's the big key here. It's a 5-year-old. It's going to be your 4th off a layoff. She's very lightly raced. Only your 9th start of her career. 1 for 1 at Keeneland. Hopefully we can make it 2 for 2 today. Do you like Castana at all?
I did. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick. I think it's a horse, like you said, it should run a pretty good race today, getting a little bit better. I wanted to ask you about one more before we went on, because I think the number 7 Beside Herself is really interesting because it's a 3-year-old going up to face olders. And we kind of talked about they're older, but they're not standouts. Like we don't have the stars in this. What do you think? Can we learn something about this 3-year-old class as now we see the first one kind of step up into the older ranks?
A little bit, but this is tough because a lot of the horses that we are more worried about aren't going a mile and a half, right? I think the mile and a half is the key distance here for Beside Herself, who should get the lead. And that's the other part of this. When you have a horse that can go gate to wire, it's hard to really assess the rest of the horses in that same 3-year-old class if they have a pace edge here. And you're going to see Pratt send this horse. I would be surprised if Beside Yourself doesn't go right to the front here in a paceless race. So I don't know how much we can learn. I will say this. If she's able to go gate to wire and hold off some of these horses, it definitely flatters like McCulloch and a couple others in that group that she lost to last time out.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be interesting to see how this horse runs against olders and kind of get the idea. Because McCulloch is one, it's like, I don't know, like, she's beating 3-year-olds. What is she really? I don't know. This will be kind of that first step of seeing maybe what that group is kind of like as they finally kind of step out.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I would not discredit any horse that Pletcher sends out right now. He has been on fire at both Keeneland and at Backwooddock. Let's head to the last race. I wanted to talk about this, the 9th at Keeneland. I thought it's a really interesting $120,000 N2X allowance, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. I thought there was a ton of directions that you could go in here, and the morning line agrees with me here. Evan Singh sitting on the board at 9-2 all the way in the outside. You've got the 4-horse Agent Peter Graves first time, and then Bill Mott barn coming out of the Scott Young barn, someone you know well, sitting as your favorite at 4-1. Who'd you end up putting on top here?
You're not kidding. You could go a ton of different ways in this one. I went with a price. I went with the number 6 Lyrical Poet on top for Wesley Ward. Joel Rosario hops aboard. Look, the horse first off a layoff at Saratoga, didn't run terrible, kind of faded. Then went to Kentucky Downs, stretched out in distance, and it just didn't work out. Forget about that. I'm looking at that race 3 back at Keeneland. It looks awful similar to the race she's in today. I should say, if he can get back to that effort, I think he's going to get a shot, or he's going to have a big shot to get it done. I think he could get a pretty decent trip. I think he could get to the front. I actually kind of like Rosario on horses that have speed if he sends them. And with this one, I don't think there's any doubt you have to send. Look at the past performances. The horse likes to go to the front. I think Rosario gets this horse to the lead. I think he's going to be tough to pass. So I love the 8-1. I'll give Lyrical Poet the 6-horse one more shot.
Give me okay, I like the Lyrical Poet as well first. If you see a horse go gate to wire and win this race, it is going to be the 6 Lyrical Poet, who should get right out there. Ward, again, phenomenal here over at the Keeneland turf course. I'm going to give Evan Singh another shot here. I think set 9-2 was a crazy price on this horse, who had every excuse last time out at Kentucky Downs, broke from the rail in a race where the winner went gate to wire and one-timer. The horse had an awful trip, got bumped early, was sent wide. No one closed that day at all. If you go back to the race 2 back, if we improve off that, Evan Singh should be 9-5, 8-5 in this spot, not 9-2. So I'm going to go with the 10-horse Evan Singh, who should get some pace to chase here and hopefully could come running late. But this is a phenomenal race. I wouldn't discredit the 4. A little interested in the 8. There's a lot of different directions to go here.
There really is. I mean, I like the 1 a little bit. That's where she hadn't even mentioned. That horse is decent. Yeah, you just kind of, you pick your angle and you go for it. Even the 4 for Bill Mott, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go here.
I thought this Keeneland card was phenomenal. The late pick 5 paid stacks yesterday. It's going to pay stacks again today. Like it's a very, very tough late pick 5 sequence. You got to carry over pick 6 at Aqueduct as well if you want to get involved there. So some great racing from both Belmont and Aqueduct. We've mentioned baseball. That starts at 2 o'clock. NFL kicking off at 1. We've got some hockey to talk about as well. Let's jump into our best bets here. Papa Dude, you want to start us off since you've been quiet down there?
Yeah, I will start us off. I finally got the monkey off my back yesterday. And, I'm never doing this again. Or if I do, I'm gonna do this different because I had an 11 o'clock game, a 3 o'clock game, and a 7 o'clock game. I'm going to do them all at the same time next time. And the thing about it, the 2 that I thought was going to be easy were the hard ones. And the one that I thought was going to be hard was the easy one. But at least I got one, and I feel better. So I'm going to stick with a parlay today. I'm going to bust it up, do a little NFL and hockey because I really just couldn't find anything I really liked. So I'm going with the Bengals today over the Falcons. I just think they're better than the Falcons, and they're at home, and I think that's pretty safe. So I'm going to go with them, just straight money line, and then I'm going to combine it in hockey with Aaron's favorite team, the Panthers, who are playing the Islanders at home. This one's the one I'm a little worried about because hockey is screwy. You never know. So hopefully we can get this one to come in too. We're getting 2 pretty good favorites at like -102, -103, something like that. I think that's good. That'll pay us okay. And I just think that's my safest pick for the day. And I like this one a lot. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in the NFL money line over the Falcons and the Panthers in hockey over the Islanders.
Yeah, the Bengals, it's starting to get right here. You got some issues on Atlanta at the cornerback position. They lost their first and second cornerbacks last week. I think you're going to see Cincinnati try and sling the ball all over the place there. I like Burrow's yards over in that game as well because I think they're going to be throwing it. And Atlanta does score, so they should be able to try and keep up there against a Cincy defense that hasn't been phenomenal. I'm going to go to the NFL here. I am going to go to the Jets and the Broncos. This is a 1 o'clock kickoff. Give me the under in the first half. Look, the Broncos defense is very good. The Jets defense is very underrated. They've been playing very well. And by the way, Brett Rippon is starting for Denver, who couldn't score with anyone else. Like, look, this Denver team is anemic. Their coaching staff is atrocious. Their offense is bad. Their defense is good. The Jets, look, my main concern is defensive scores here. That's how this goes over 17.5. Is that Rippon and Wilson throw multiple picks, and all of a sudden you have short fields left, right, and center. But I think you're going to see a lot of running the ball, especially on the Denver side. Hackett's shown you his true colors. He's not going to get creative here and try and come up with this unique game plan, especially coming off a shorter week. So I like the under here in the first half specifically. It could get a little funky full game. If one of these teams gets up and you have the other 2 quarterbacks just slinging it around, that is not great for the under because that could create some turnovers and some quick scores either way. So give me the first half under 17.5, Denver and the Jets.
Oh, boy. Oh boy!
Not a big total. He did the under. I like that. I don't think the Broncos will have any points. So there.
Oh boy!
Well, look, you'll know soon whether or not it's a winner, right? When the first quarter's over and it's 0-0, we'll all be dancing in the streets, baby. All right.
Let me ask you guys, honest question: will the Broncos be better today without Russell Wilson?
They'll be better next week without Russell Wilson. I don't think on a short week with this coaching staff, they're going to be able to get Rippon ready.
Fair assessment.
I like next week. Yes, I think they will because I think Russell was actually hurt, both arm, leg, and head. Like I think there's a lot wrong there, right? So
that covers everything right there.
You know, give it a week. Give Rippon a week to actually understand what he's supposed to be doing. Now Rippon has started one game before in the NFL. He is 1-0. With 0 touchdowns and 3 picks, but he is 1-0, so that's a positive. What do you think, Papa Dude? Better this week or next week?
I don't think that he'll be better any week, really. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know. I kind of, I do think Denver's a little better in what they're playing, and the Jets might be ready to lose, and it's kind of tough to go out there. I kind of see Denver maybe pulling this off. But how can you? I just can't. I don't know. And I like your under because I don't know that Denver will have any points at the half.
I don't know if either one of them will.
Yeah, the under might be good 17.5 for the whole game.
The total opened 43, dropped to 38.5 by Thursday. When Russell Wilson, the rumors started coming out. Now it's all the way down to 36 in some spots. I mean, this thing just keeps on plummeting. And it's right. It's the correct move. This is not going to be a game where you have two defenses that overpower offenses and two offensive coordinators, and they don't want to turn the ball over. They want their defense to control the game and win. That's how the Jets won last week against the Packers. That's how Denver. I mean, that was a mess. They consistently stay in games because of this defense. I don't even know how to properly say that part of it. All right, Aaron, save us here. Let's go to your best bet. You're headed to a parlay as well. Go into the ice. Who you got?
Well, listen, I like your bet. I'm just like, oh boy, got to watch that Denver Jets game now. That's going to be good. All right.
Red zone, and when it's never on, we're good.
Well, that's true. When you watch the red zone, you really don't see a lot of Denver. And thank God they're going to be on the red zone today and not primetime. Anyway, all right. I knew it would happen yesterday. I like so many things in hockey, and I gave one that lost for the show. So that is what happens. We're back here, and this is really the only thing I like in hockey. So I didn't have to do much picking and choosing. Really love the Florida Panthers and New York Rangers parlay tonight in the NHL. Papa Dude, we're going to live and die with the Panthers, it sounds like, for the show today. They certainly should win. Last night, the Islanders were in Tampa. They played good, but they lost. I just think back-to-back Tampa and then go to play Florida. That's really, really tough. I think the Panthers, after losing 2 nights ago to Tampa Bay in a heartbreaker, I think they're ready to play today. I think they get the job done. I think they're going to beat the Islanders pretty easily. Same story in New York, where the Blue Jackets played last night and now have to turn right around and play tonight on the road. Another key factor for both these teams having to go on the road to take on the Rangers. Rangers are a really good team, a really good hockey team, really good goaltending. The Blue Jackets, I don't think they're terrible, but they have played some tough teams, and it continues tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, in New York. I think it's tough. I think these are 2 tough spots for the Islanders and the Jackets against 2 of the best teams in the league, the Panthers and the Rangers. Give me that parlay. Give me that plus money. I like it. And by the way, before we end the show, St. Louis Blues, 3-0, baby. 3-0, huge win at Edmonton yesterday.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
Who else is undefeated? Magic's Detroit Red Wings. 2-0-2 right now. They're playing today as well. I think they'll get a W. Let's go Blues, baby. We're the best team in the NHL, no doubt about it. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's wrap it up for the week. Thank you very much for everybody for joining us. We'll be back on Wednesday, noon Eastern, same time, same place. Best bets and talking about all the world of sports. So we'll go with the picks here. We've got Papa Dude taking the Bengals and the Panthers. Moneyline parlay, that's -103. Aaron, Panthers and the Rangers. And by the way, both of those are NHL Panthers. No one's taking Carolina here. Don't worry. +103 on that one. I'm going to go with Jets Broncos under 17.5 for the first half. Weekly record 8-6, up $234. For the year, we're up $1,111. How does that happen? A $100 base bet. We'll be back next week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Good luck at the track and on the field, the ice, everywhere. Good luck with your bets.